Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we're going to be taking an up-close and personal, in-depth look with the 2016 Volkswagen Golf R. In this review, we'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, and go over the performance data, take it on a thorough drive, talk about some of the differences for 2017 as well, and show you many of the unique aspects throughout the interior as well as exterior. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start her up, let her run. So a remote access smart key system comes as standard equipment. As long as you have the key fob in your pocket, you can walk up to the car and use the touch sensors on the driver and passenger side door handle to lock and unlock the vehicle. Once you're inside, push button ignition is also standard. Again, just make sure you have the key fob on you, then put your foot on the brake and hit the console mounted button to go. The Golf R features electric power-assisted rack and pinion steering with a variable ratio design just like the GTI. By spacing the teeth on the steering gear's rack more tightly towards the center, it allows for a lower steering ratio. This enhances steering response when traveling at higher speeds, therefore no matter if you're changing lanes on the highway or turning through a curve, it takes less turns of the wheel to get the desired response. The higher ratio at the ends of the rack reduces the amount of effort needed during low-speed maneuvers, such as parking. The ratios vary between 9.5 to 1 on center and 14.1 to 1 when at full lock. The steering takes just 2.1 turns to lock, compared to 2.76 turns in a regular Golf. The turning circle is measured at 35.8 feet. It's all routed through a sporty 3-spoke flat-bottomed leather-wrapped steering wheel. The look and feel reminds me of an Audi with high-quality detailing and grip bolsters up top. Gloss black trim surrounds the airbag, multifunction controls, and the lower split spoke. Along with accent stitching, there's an R logo in the bottom. The Golf R is available with either a 6-speed manual or VW's quick-shifting DSG dual-clutch automatic. A good manual transmission will always give you an added sense of connection that no automatic can duplicate. But in this case, I truly believe the DSG is the best way to extract every ounce of performance the R has to offer. Not only does it feature adaptive shift technology that responds based on throttle input, but you also gain a launch control system. To use, you need to first be in race mode while in drive and have your left foot on the brake. Then press and hold the stability control button in the center console. After a few seconds, you'll hear a chime to indicate stability control has been fully disabled. Next, while keeping your left foot on the brake, simultaneously apply full throttle with your right foot. The engine will rev to and maintain about 4,000 RPM until you release the brake for maximum takeoff without turbo lag. Being able to disable stability control fully is an exclusive feature of the Golf R. On top of that, there's an ESC Sport mode that just raises the limits of stability control for spirited driving. To activate that, you simply press the button once instead of holding it. Of course, just like the GTI, you can shift the transmission manually by the console shifter or by a pair of steering wheel paddle shifters. While in drive, if you pull the shifter back once more, you can toggle between normal and sport transmission programming. Sport raises the shift points and activates dynamic throttle blips on downshifts. The rev matching feature also applies to manual mode. Where the R really starts to distance itself from the GTI is its 4-motion permanent all-wheel drive system, featuring a center differential with an electronically controlled clutch pack and full lock-in ability for even distribution of power between the front and rear wheels as needed. During low loads and coasting, the rear wheels are decoupled to help save fuel. The shifter is wrapped in leather with a carbon fiber effect across the sides. A backup camera is standard and integrated within the VW emblem on the trunk lid, which also doubles as a handle. When you put it in reverse, the camera automatically pops out, and once you put it back into park or drive, it'll automatically close after a few seconds. In the center console to the left of the shifter, there's a drive mode select switch. If equipped with the adaptive dampers, there's an additional comfort mode to the standard normal, individual, and race modes. Race mode is another exclusive feature to the Golf R. Normal is, of course, your day-to-day setting, while individual allows you to custom tailor a variety of features and parameters to suit your own driving style. In race mode, engine response and shift points of the DSG transmission are optimized for high-speed driving. With the adaptive dampers, the level of firmness is also altered between the drive modes. So now let's go ahead and flip on the fully automatic LED accented bifunction HID headlamps and the hazards. All 4 windows are fully automatic. Now let's go ahead and check out the exterior, shall we? The second generation Golf R is not only the most powerful production Golf ever, but it's also the fastest. The first generation R, which served as a replacement for the R32, was produced in limited numbers for 2012 and 2013. This new model builds upon it by taking advantage of the many advancements seen with the 7th generation Golf's all-new platform. From the outside, a familiar silhouette is complemented by sleeker styling and more intricate bodywork that expresses a modern reinterpretation of a classic shape. Bold wheel arches give the Golf a wide stance, while additional horizontal elements add more definition across the side profile and roofline. Up front, a narrow grille sits in between a pair of redesigned headlamps that are slimmer and more angular to complement a new set of tail lamps. Bi-xenon HID headlamps with LED daytime running lights are standard, along with an adaptive front lighting system. The main beam turns with the steering wheel up to 15 degrees in either direction to illuminate curves in the road ahead. Automatic halogen cornering lamps come on whenever you're making a sharp turn, such as an intersection. Once the wheel is brought back in line, the cornering lamps gently fade out. On the R, a strip of silver trim traces across the grille and extends into each headlamp. Other major styling differences between an R and a GTI include the bumpers, side skirts, rear diffuser, quad exhaust tips, unique wheels, and black painted mirrors. The front bumper goes without fog lamps, instead there's large air intakes at the outer edges. A rooftop spoiler rounds off the sporty vibe, along with unique R badging on the grille, fenders, and hatch. Unlike certain trim levels of the GTI, which are offered in either a 3-door or a 5-door hatchback, the R is only available as a 5-door. The biggest changes to the 7th generation Golf are hidden within a completely redesigned chassis, as the styling is more of an evolution over its predecessor. It rides on VW Group's new modular transverse matrix platform, also known as MQB. By dictating a fixed relationship between the front wheel center line and pedal box, where approximately 60% of a vehicle's development costs lie, this newfound philosophy of building cars is meant to streamline vehicle production and allow for a greater range of flexibility with vehicle design. This led to a complete redesign of the Golf's body in white, utilizing more advanced construction techniques to make it both lighter and stiffer than its predecessor. For example, a device called a laser clamp welder now applies welds in a wave pattern to maximize strength in tight areas, offering up to 4 times the strength of a typical spot weld. The stamped steel body panels and chassis use more high-strength steel than before, now 28% versus 6%, while more advanced ultra-high-strength steels now make up 9% of the body shell, allowing for the use of thinner and lighter materials that can be tailored more precisely to vary the metal thickness based on the area and strength requirements. The unibody also has 2 solid-mounted subframes with bolt-on front fenders. All of this leads to a 10% increase in torsional rigidity and a drop of 51 pounds from the body in white. The new Golf is slightly larger with a roomier interior and more refinement. Overall length increases by 2.1 inches, width expands by half an inch, and roof height lowers by 1.1 inches. With the MQB architecture, the front wheels sit 1.7 inches further forward than before, given what Volkswagen describes as a premium cab backward aesthetic. Pricing for a 2016 Golf R starts at $36,470 or $38,715 if you opt for dynamic chassis control with navigation. both of which include an $820 destination charge. Our tester with the $1,100 DSG transmission stickers for $37,570. 2016 Golf Rs come standard with 18 by 7.5 inch 5-spoke alloy wheels with polished faces and black painted accents, wrapped in 225/40 tires. If you opt for dynamic chassis control and navigation, the same wheel style continues, but they grow in size to 19 by 8 inches and feature 10mm wider tires. Bridgestone summer performance tires come standard regardless of the wheel size. They're capable of holding upwards of 0.95 G of lateral acceleration. For 2017, a new set of 19-inch Pretoria wheels are now standard. The brakes are the same uprated units used on GTIs equipped with the performance package, including 4-wheel ventilated discs measuring 13.4 by 1.2 inches in front and 12.2 by 0.9 inches in the rear. Stopping performance should be somewhat similar to the GTI, which could stop from 60 miles an hour in a short 105 feet. Even with all the extra power on board, the single piston calipers have no problem shaving off speed quickly and consistently. Underneath you'll find a fully independent coilover suspension that consists of a strut type setup up front and a multi-link design in the rear, in addition to front and rear anti-roll bars, both of which are thicker than what you would find on a regular Golf. The R features modified lower control arms up front and different tuning for the rear toe link bearings. Together they help minimize understeer tendencies and lean more towards neutral behavior, even at the car's limit. The all-wheel drive system also receives a recalibration over its predecessor to further mitigate understeer. The R rides 0.8 inches lower than a regular Golf, which makes it 0.2 inches lower than a GTI. VW's dynamic chassis control adaptive damping system is an option. It manages the suspension's rebound and compression rates individually, making it more responsive to changing road conditions. There's 3 different modes: comfort, normal, and race. When set to race, the dampers firm up for more agile handling. Also standard is VW's XDS Plus cross differential system. In a nutshell, it's a brake-based electronic substitute for a mechanical limited slip differential. The VAQ torque sensing limited slip diff offered on the GTI performance package is not offered on the R. With XDS Plus, if one of the 4 wheel sensors detect excessively light loads, the system will then apply the brake to the inside driven wheel to restore optimum traction and help mitigate understeer. It should come as no surprise that the R is immensely fun to drive and toss into corners. It has phenomenal grip, especially with having its all-wheel drive system. Overall length is 168.4 inches with a width of 70.8 inches and a height of 56.5 inches. It rides on a 103.6 inch wheelbase and has a curb weight of around 3,340 pounds. Under the hood you'll find the same turbocharged and intercooled 2-liter 4-cylinder that powers the GTI. Only the R has been extensively modified to deliver a significant boost in both horsepower and torque. It's constructed using an iron block and an aluminum head with dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, and variable valve timing for both the intake and exhaust sides. The latter also features 2-stage variable valve lift. The R gains a new cylinder head in conjunction with new exhaust valves, valve seats, and springs. The connecting rods and crankcase have been strengthened, as have the pistons. The turbocharger is developing more boost, and there's a larger intercooler to maintain low charge air temperatures. Fuel is delivered via a high-pressure direct injection system that's specifically tailored to this application. The compression ratio, like the GTI, is rated at 9.6 to 1, while maximum engine speed peaks around 6,500 RPM. As I discussed in my GTI review, Volkswagen implemented a number of additional changes to the EA888 engine series, which help boost fuel economy across the board, improve thermal management, and reduce internal friction. Most importantly is the fact that the new Golf R is now developing 292 horsepower at 5,400 RPM and 280 pound-feet of torque between 1,800 and 5,500 RPM. That's 36 more horsepower and 37 pound-feet of additional torque over its predecessor. In both cases, peak output is delivered at 600 fewer RPMs than before. Compared to a GTI equipped with the optional performance package, the Golf R has an additional 72 horsepower and 22 pound-feet of torque. As I mentioned before, with the DSG transmission, you also gain launch control. Having already spent a bunch of time in the GTI, I knew the R would be quick. Surely enough, it did not disappoint. When using launch control, it takes about 4.9 seconds to hit 60 miles an hour thanks to the excellent grip provided by the all-wheel drive system. Top speed is limited to 155 miles per hour. If you think the GTI sounds good, the R sounds even better. The exhaust note is more pronounced and there's a significant boost of sound within the interior. Whether it's piped in from the engine or augmented by the audio system, I couldn't tell really, but the deep and aggressive growl gives this four-cylinder some serious personality. Fuel economy for DSG-equipped cars is estimated between 23 miles per gallon in the city and 30 miles per gallon on the highway. Expect an average of around 25 miles per gallon. Premium fuel is required and is held within a 14.5 gallon tank. VW did an excellent job at the interior of the 7th generation Golf. With the new MQB structure, both headroom and shoulder room see improvements, making it more accommodating for up to 5 people. Also, thanks to a slight repositioning of the gearbox, pedals, and the seats, the Golf's ergonomics feel more driver-oriented. The center stack is even angled towards the driver to give you that cockpit feel. Overall build quality is top-notch for this segment, and there's plenty of soft-touch materials across the door panels, dash, and some areas of the center console. The Golf R adds some unique interior appointments such as seatback embroidery, blue needles within the instrument cluster, and blue ambient lighting across the aluminum sill plates and front door panels. The aggressive sport seats are firm but comfortable with excellent lateral and lumbar support and flared upper backrests. The driver's seat is fully powered, including power lumbar. The passenger seat is manually adjustable, aside from power recline. The steering wheel is manual tilting and telescoping, and the headrest and seatbelts are adjustable. Along with black leather seating surfaces, there's an all-black headliner. In the lower door pockets, there's a generous amount of storage space. They're also lined in soft material. In addition to a little storage cubby in the bottom left-hand side of the dash, there's a good-sized locking glove box. Perhaps the strangest thing about this car is that, unlike all other Golfs I've driven, including the GTI, the center console does not open. For some reason, VW prevented this, and I'm not sure what the reasoning was behind it, and it seems to be just on US cars. There is a storage space within, but it involves going into the back of the console and removing bolts. Some Golf R owners on YouTube have even made videos on how to open it back up. All Golfs include 6 airbags throughout the interior, in addition to a number of other electronic and mechanical safety systems. For 2017, the R gains a new suite of driver assistance features, including an adaptive cruise control, forward collision warning, autonomous emergency braking, blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert, front and rear parking sensors, lane departure warning, and automatic high beam control. There's small quarter windows at the bottom of the A-pillars for better visibility. In the US, the Golf R is not available with a sunroof. Key standard features in the Golf R include an 8-speaker sound system, a 6.5-inch touchscreen radio, and dual-zone climate control. Media options include AM, FM, HD, and satellite radio, CD, USB, auxiliary, and Bluetooth audio streaming. Navigation is an optional feature. If equipped, it also adds a premium Fender audio system. VW is one of the first manufacturers to incorporate Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and MirrorLink all within one system. This infotainment system is actually new for 2016. The screen itself mimics a smartphone. It's very responsive to swiping and touch gestures. In the center console, there's a hidden compartment ahead of the shifter that houses a USB and auxiliary port. Towards the rear of the console, you have 2 cup holders, a power outlet, and an electronic parking brake. For more information and demos pertaining to the rest of the interior features, including the driver's information system, be sure to check out my GTI review. Now let's go and see how she sounds, both sitting still and on the road. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and shut her down. Next, we'll hop in the back seat and check out overall space and amenities. We already talked about the back seat quite a lot during my GTI review, so if you'd like to see it a bit more in depth, be sure to check out that link in the top right hand corner of the video. Of course, nothing changes back here for the Golf. It's still a nice environment that's pretty accommodating and comfortable. There's a lot of space overall. I'm 5'10" and with an ideal seating position for myself in front. There's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of leg space and maybe 3.5 inches of headspace. As far as the seat itself, it has good lower back support, pretty decent lateral support, and a fold-down armrest. It also incorporates 2 cup holders and a trunk pass-through, so if you didn't want to fold the seats down, which I'll show during the trunk portion in just a second, you can put that down and stow like poles and skis and the like. Build quality back here is also very good. Everything closes with a nice tight feel. You don't have the padded material on the upper portion of the door like you do in front, but there's still padded material across the middle as well as the armrest. As far as storage, there's seat back storage pockets and large pockets in the bottom portions of the door panel, and just like up front, they're lined in cloth material. Other amenities back here, there's coat hooks on the B-pillars, additional coat hooks up top with grip handles, 2 LED reading lamps, and adjustable air vents down below. So that's pretty much it for back here. Let's go ahead and hop back out and check out trunk space. One of the best things about the Golf is the fact that it's a hatchback. Therefore, it has the ability to haul a lot of cargo, more than many mid-size sedans out there. Revisions introduced to the 7th generation Golf include a 0.7-inch lowered load sill and 1.9 inches of additional opening width. The trunk floor can also be moved up or down by 3.9 inches if you need to carry some larger items. Cargo capacity behind the rear seat is increased by 8%. With the privacy cover in place, there's 16.5 cubic feet worth, but once that's removed, you have up to 22.8 cubic feet of space behind the seats. The rear seats fold down nearly flat, allowing for a maximum of 52.7 cubic feet, 15% more than the previous generation. VW claims it's enough to fit a full-size bicycle. There's also a variety of cargo tie-downs and even a 12-volt power outlet. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the Volkswagen Golf R. Be sure to stay tuned next time and subscribe today. There's always a lot more where that came from. Take care everyone.